Alright people, sorry I'm a bit late this evening. Just a slight technical hiccup there. The clock's running a few minutes behind, but great to see you tonight, Morbius and Kit in the chat. Just enough time for me to make this explanation while you absorb this hilarious meme, and then we're going to go straight into the title sequence, I should say, right about now. Okay people, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, sorry about the tardiness this evening. As I said, Big Ben, or indeed the bell at Victoria Clock Tower, is running about 5 minutes late. Sorry. Great to be here, great to see you. So who have we got in the chat? Got Morbius, Kit, great to see you, Becca, Octo, aka Chris. Very warm welcome, Solidari-Tea. Yeah, sorry about the late notifications about coming on to the stream tonight, but you're all very welcome here on the Brews at 10 on my left eye. I'm your host Lefty. You're all very welcome here. My God, what a day. I said this yesterday, I can't keep up. I cannot keep up. I've had another Trump and Musk batshit crazy corner video out today. They're feeding out bile quicker than I can edit, script, record and so on and so forth. Doc Davies, great to see you are with us and notified, and one of Florky's as well. Welcome back. Andy Carter, great to see you as well. As always, you're all very welcome here. Solidari-Tea, Brew Crew. Let us know how you're brewing tonight in the chat, or if you're watching back in the comments. And I know 100% for sure that you've hit thumbs up on the stream this evening, people. Please do hit the notification bell as well, so you can keep up with current content, including Trump and Musk's batshit crazy corner. When I preemptively set up the feature, I thought this would be a sort of a once a week thing. And here we are, day 2 of his presidency. And I could put out more videos than there are days in the week already. So we're going to have to catch up a bit on live streams with all that stuff like we did yesterday. Politics Clive. A very warm welcome to you too. Okay, let's bring everybody up in the chat while we're welcoming everybody. Let's just switch the old logos round. There we go. There you have it. So if you've not seen that latest episode of Trump and Musk's batshit crazy corner, lots to go into there, lots of executive orders lots of I can't believe what they're doing, and then lots of I can't believe what they're stopping, although you can believe it really, because we've got them both down to a T, really. There's no question about what's happening, as we all know. For those of you who aren't familiar, by the way, My Left Eye is a channel all about politics and society from a left-wing perspective. Yes, so we're all happy socialists here. Tories not welcome. MAGA hats not welcome. You're free to come and debate on the stream if you like. But generally, this is a channel made by socialists for socialists. So it's good to see you're all brewing well, and as always, great to see Palestine flags and watermelons being thrown up in the chat. Yeah, I'll be keeping my left eye on the latest on that situation later in the stream, after we get onto all this business in the United States of Dystopia. America, I should say. Tories boo, thumbs down, yes, very good. I'm with you there, Morbius, I'm with you all the way. And that includes the current government, who are Tories, disguised in red rosettes. Orwin Leaf Wind, you came on to advertise Trump's coin, yeah. He's introduced a new alternative currency, a Bitcoin as it were, of sorts, but Trump coin. And prior to the launch, he managed to persuade his way into getting a lot of investment. However, it immediately has started to tank. Well, if they fell for it, they fell for it. That's capitalism, and if you don't like it, then there's socialism over here, you know. Maybe we could all launch a sort of combined effort to short sell Trump coin. No, I'm not flogging any. I'm not flogging any hedge funds or anything here on My Left Eye. Don't worry about that. Tongue in cheek there. Yeah, Doc, I'm with you there about the crypto. The thing is, it's not backed up by anything. The way this supposed sacred free market, the stock market, is supposed to work is that all of the stock is actually backed up by something, be it physical or whatnot. It gets very convoluted and complex, of course, but you could take a simple example of a commodity such as rice, which is the largest traded commodity in the world. The value of that commodity either rises or falls compared to other commodities. That's the way it's supposed to work. But in the case of Bitcoin and other things, you can invent something out of thin air that isn't physical, it's digital in this case, and it is somehow supposed to have value. And gold comes into that, of course, because things used to be always backed up by gold. It was known as the gold standard. But those days are long gone, because you can just invent money by the tap of a key on your computer. Nasdaq, FTSE. Let's wear bow ties and get some action, people. I was slightly reminded about that film there, about the GameStop stock. Can't remember what it's called. The protagonist was the fella who played the Riddler in the last Batman film, The Batman, with Robert Pattinson. it escapes me, but please do check it out. It's a good example of how corrupt the stock market is. Might be getting on some more things, including the stock market, during the stream as well, of course. Particularly where TikTok's concerned. I was having a very good conversation with some close friends earlier today, just before I came on the stream, and we were talking about the delayed sale of TikTok, which Trump has announced as well, and what that might mean. But no spoilers, no spoilers. We'll get onto that in just a wee while. I've got a comedy clip, as always. And around this time of evening, I like to give a special thanks to all of the members on the channel, if you'll excuse me from removing the chat from your point of view for just a few moments while I say a special thank you to everybody who supports the channel, all of these awesome people whose names you can see on the screen, the Brew crew. And special thanks to everybody who's gifted memberships recently on the channel. That's the preferred way of supporting the channel here on My Left Eye. You can do so for just the unbelievably low price of 99 pence. Can you even get 3 coffees for that these days? I've not checked the latest exchange rates and inflation rates today, you'll have to forgive me, but I dare say that's a very good deal. Lots of perks to enjoy, including early viewings, exclusive things such as static emojis as well, which you can use on the live stream, which I'm hoping 1 or 2 people might do in the next few moments. Who knows? Who knows? Nudge, nudge. A variety to choose from, and I will have some new ones coming soon actually as our Brew crew expands and the Solidari-Tea grows. We find ourselves with more members, and right on cue there, Chris, thank you very much for that gifted membership. Fantastic. Solidari-Tea as always, brother. Long-term supporter of the channel, always appreciated. Always great to see you here on the Brews at 10, or Sunday live streams as well. Thanks for your recent comments. I'll bring the chat back up there. Thanks for your recent comments on the recent content as well. Always insightful. If you have watched any of the video content on the channel, please always do add a comment, even if it's just a little thumbs up or nice one or you suck or why don't you quit, whatever it is that you want to say. The full spectrum. Yeah, please do add a comment. It really does give a boost on the algorithm. I'd want to through one or two trolls through the history, the brief history of the channel, as it were. Being a year and a few months old. Always interesting, always interesting. I find the irony in that being, of course, every time they reply to something or try to get your attention, whether you reply or not, they do actually give you a boost on the algorithm for the video that they think shouldn't be there. Quite paradoxical. Kit, thanks for celebrating your membership for the last 6 months. It's been great to have you on the channel as well as always, and yeah, thanks for your comments on videos as well. Solidari-Tea, and you're celebrating with the Keir Hardie, the founder of the Labour Party, static emoji. If only he were alive today, I would like to see him give Keith quite a verbal drubbing, which I'm sure he'd get. Right, let's get into things, people. We've got the comedy clip coming up. This is the latest from Nerine Skinner. Of course, we observed on yesterday's live stream that several figures, shall we say, attended Trump's inauguration, and among them was former Prime Minister of the UK, of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, albeit for only 49 days, Liz Truss, or should I say Liv Struss, as portrayed here by the fantastic Nerine Skinner, who I do suggest you subscribe to. Here we go.
Hello, it's me, Liv Struss, here in the USA, ready for Trump's big day. Now, I actually went all the way to Pennsylvania, but apparently I was in the wrong town. But don't worry, because now I'm here in Washington, DC, looking great. Now, people have been saying that I look like Paddington Bear, but that's nonsense because I don't like marmalade. I've got cheese sandwiches. But I'm here with my ticket for Trump's orientation, but nobody will let me in. I was told it was in the White House, but it's not my fault that there are loads of White Houses around. I've been knocking on doors all morning. Anyway, I finally got to the right place because I'm always right, but they wouldn't let me in either, and that is
You're certainly on the right, Liz.
Disgrace. This is all Keir Starmer's fault. I bet he told everybody that I crashed the economy. Well, do you know what I've done? I've gone and told the whole of America that I didn't, and that will quash all of the rumours. I'm even in the news. Now, I'm actually really good friends with Donald Trump, and I'm sure there's been a misunderstanding, so I'm going to call him and rectify the problem. Trump. Oh.
It's me, Donald Trump.
Voicemail.
Now, I can't come to the phone right now because I am busy becoming king of the world. Alright? So what I want you to do is leave a message after the tone. Unless you're Liz Truss, in which case do not leave me a message and stop sending me your panties in the mail.
Oh, Trumpy, it's Liv Struss here with a message for you. Unfortunately, I couldn't get into your fun party. For some reason, people aren't recognising me. But can you let me in, please? Oh, and also, I'm wearing your Get Your Pork Here pants. Bye. End. I'll wait here until he calls me back.
You might be there a long time, Liz, or Liv, even. Yeah, so check out Nerine Skinner Comedy on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Nerine Skinner. You can see the great stuff as always. We might have a slight technical issue to address here, people. Did the gifted membership there go through? Yeah, you normally see the name of the recipient underneath. Had a problem last week. I'm going to get right on that, people. Just going into studio now. Do get a fairly good update on who the latest members are. I'll just go through the membership list. Check that that's gone through. But yeah, Nerine Skinner, great stuff. So she was down there. Priti Patel as well. Suella Braverman. Boom. It's like real panto shit here, people. I did like Spitting Images' interpretation of it on the last version of Spitting Image. Incarnation, that's the word that I couldn't remember there. The collar and the fangs, yeah, spot on. Okay, it does look like those have gone through the memberships, I mean. But thanks again, anyway, Octo. Hope you continue support on the channel. Okay, people, let's dive into articles and whatnot. Let's go through these executive orders, as well as a few other things. Developing stories. It's like I was saying earlier, it's so difficult to keep up. Even whilst we were on the live stream last night, there were things coming through, and then even as I was recording and editing the episode of Trump and Musk's batshit crazy corner, still more legislation was coming through. So, well, he said it'd be a dictatorship from day one, didn't he? So we've got a list. We've got a list of the latest executive orders, which must be obeyed at all times. Excuse me. Oh yeah, we'll be getting on to the fascist salute again in a little bit. Musk's tried to respond to it. Spoiler alert. Just go over to the screen, get these executive orders up. Hey, where'd the music go? That's better. Readjust this. No, we'll get cracking. Narrower. There we go. Oh, this is... Can you feel me? Can you feel me, people? Just every time I see the name and the flag and everything, I picture the absolute dystopia that's going on. So let's see what's happening. And it's day 2. It's day 2. So immigration, first mentioned yesterday in the video. A national emergency has been declared. This is as good as a declaration of war against Mexico without it actually being one. Claiming America's sovereignty is under attack, he's closing the border and told the military to seal the borders, citing the flow of illicit drugs, human smuggling and crime relating to crossings, as he says. And with that, he's denying the right to citizenship to the children of migrants either in the US illegally or on temporary visas. Obviously that goes against the 14th Amendment, so there's already been a challenge from the federal courts. This is day 2, people, this is day 2. Of hundreds. Kira, welcome from Ireland. Great to see you, Solidari-Tea. Always great to have the Irish on board here on My Left Eye. Hope you're doing well tonight. So where was I? Yeah, there's an apparent crackdown on drug cartels. The same order demands an end to... this is a Remain in Mexico policy, I should say, from his first term that returned about 70,000 non-Mexican asylum seekers across the border to await hearings. A lot of migrants, Latinos especially, have been preemptively getting out of the United States since Trump was about to come in. They know what's coming. This is following from the declaration of this. God, he said, "We don't see colour. We don't see colour. Oh, it doesn't matter what colour your skin is, where you're from." He tried to add further sentiments that he's going to be the peaceful president where we all get along. Unless you're Latino, or the son or daughter, or they them, of a migrant, which I'll come on to in just a moment. Absolute lies, he's such a... Okay. Rant alert, still on yellow for now. He's promised the largest deportation program in American history, but this could face legal and logistical challenges. The order also shut down a major Biden-era immigration pipeline, a sponsorship initiative that allowed up to 30,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua and Venezuela to fly to the United States. Speaking of Cuba, he's also undone an embargo, the removal of an embargo, which Biden brought in as well. About 78 executive orders it was that he rescinded. And he's also asked for the federal death penalty to be reinstated. Yes! How far back can he drag us in time? I mentioned on the live stream yesterday he was enforcing an act from, was it 1798 as well? Hey, you know, get on the fucked up Trump time machine and let's see how far back into social equality we can go. So the death penalty there would apply to any capital crime committed by an alien illegally present in this country. What, from this galaxy? Maybe from a galaxy close to Proxima Centauri? Who knows? Or some far beyond galaxy that even the Hubble telescope has not yet seen. Who knows where these aliens might come from? Could you not have just put a big old-fashioned red-lettered stamp on a piece of paper that just says, "I don't like foreigners"? That might have saved you a lot of time, Donald. Well, he's not exactly trying to dress this up as much as Musk tried to dress up his salute. And I'm not talking about the Italian word for cheers either. You know what I mean, people. He suspended the refugee resettlement program, though details remain unclear. It's like beyond, you know, we're back to the beyond parody stages of US politics now. Really. So once, this is really gonna get my fucking goat. I can feel my piss boiling in my loins. Climate and energy. Long-term viewers here on my left eye will know that I'm very concerned about, I don't want to use the word passionate, of course, very concerned about climate change, climate breakdown, as it is now. And this is the worst. This is definitely one of the worst elements of Trump being re-elected that I can think of. Biden was no saint on the issue either, but this guy is like the antithesis of action on climate change. Under the delusion that they can get short-term profits, but also persist in using a finite resource that is also going to destroy large parts of society as well as the natural world and the ecological system which contains us and supports us. America, of course, being a big player, the second biggest producer of carbon per annum, behind China, 4 to 5 billion tonnes per year. However, China are actually doing a lot to counteract the CO2 output. They're the largest producers of wind power, for example, in the world. I'm not too sure how legitimate this is as well, but there are also rumours that they're planning on building a network of solar-panelled satellites that will absorb more energy than the nation of China consumes altogether, which is some feat, as you'd imagine. China. But Trump's going the other way. Drill baby drill is the clarion call, and he's signed off on withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement, as we discussed yesterday. The landmark international deal is to commit rising global temperatures. You're probably familiar that we passed an average of 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels for the first time this year, for the first time in history. And it goes on to say he'll have to wait a year before it happens. He previously withdrew in 2017 before Biden re-entered. He's declared an energy emergency, which essentially means filling up oil reserves. The very thing that we, that is, globally, need to transition away from. Talk about being behind the times. Alaskan fuel. So this one's titled Unleashing Alaska's Extraordinary Resource Potential, pledging to unlock oil, gas and other natural resources from the state. This is fantastic. We actually could be on the very cusp, and I'm talking within this year, on a methane gas runaway effect. Methane being several times worse for global warming. We're talking about 35 times worse than CO2 itself when you're talking about the ozone effect this year. So let's unleash it. Let's unleash more of that. Yeah, the greenhouse effect is just a fallacy. Of course, it's a woke conspiracy. We all know that, don't we, people? Oh God. And he's ending the Green New Deal. A series of Biden measures that were aimed at boosting green jobs, regulating the fossil fuel industry and limiting pollution. He has ordered agencies to halt funds appropriated through two laws, the Inflation Reduction Act and another law on infrastructure and jobs. He said the United States would end leasing to wind farms and revoke what he calls an electric vehicle mandate. Now there's this almost extreme contradiction, as I mentioned on yesterday's live stream. During his post-inauguration speech, I should say, Musk was clapping away like a fucking trained circus seal. We all saw that. But then this part, and we all know how the American economy relies upon vehicles powered by fossil fuels more than any other nation in the world at the moment. A lot of their society is based around that. But obviously, Musk has significant interests in the electrical vehicle industry, vis-a-vis, i.e. Tesla, of course, who actually aren't a car manufacturing company, they're a tech company. There's a very specific technicality in there, which is very pertinent to the way that they're rated on the stock market as well. And I'll remind you all that Tesla is the most officially overvalued stock on the America or the world index. Just saying people. But back to the point in hand. How can Tusk be so in favour of fossil fuels at the same time as trying to appease Musk? Because the two don't fit. Drill, baby, drill. So apart from the Paris Agreement, he's also pulled out of the WHO, the World Health Organization. As you can see there as well, he signed an executive order to begin the process of withdrawing from the health body. This marks the second time that Trump has ordered the US to be pulled out of the WHO. After Biden re-entered it, it's back and forth, back and forth. He was critical of how the Geneva-based institution handled COVID-19. This is the man who suggested that you could inject bleach or use light to somehow deter the disease as an alternative to vaccines. And at that point, I've got to put some sort of meme or clip or something up. It's getting that bad. I don't know what I'm going to go for. Go for the classic, the thing.
Fucking kidding.
I wish I was fucking kidding. Really do wish I was. Let's see what you're saying in the comments, people. Mobius, I think you're quite correct about Elon micro-dosing. I'm pretty sure about that, as much as it's not him actually playing those games online. China have also been pretty critical of the United States withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement as well. Good point. And now, well, you've all started to talk about certain barbiturates, which I won't mention on a live stream. Jesus. Okay, well, talk as you will. And just back to the climate thing, yeah, we are beyond the tipping point. I mentioned the 1.5 average temperature rise as well. We're heading way beyond that. Probably more than double that, which is appalling, because for every increment, for every tenth of a degree, fractionally, so many ecosystems collapse, and now we're pretty much in the early stages of all of the runaway effects, the feedback loops out there. All right, keep the chat coming, people. I just need to take one quick break, but I will be right back with you. Stay put, people. Just got to top up my drink and whatnot. Couple of minutes. Keep yourselves entertained though in the chat. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button while you're at it. I'll be back right soon. Thanks for your patience, people. I'm back. So where were we? Oh yes, modern day dystopia. How could I forget? Onto diversity and gender now. The US will only recognise two sexes, male and female, no more they, thems, and other permutations. The sexes, he says, are not challengeable and are grounded in fundamental and incontrovertible reality. Those are his words, not mine. It's expected to affect transgender politics relating to government communicate, blah, 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 blah. Like I said yesterday and in today's vid also, this is going to just absolutely explode into a series of, well, you're going to see, I just want to get the back. Have we got the music, people? Yes, we do. This is going to, unfortunately, explode into a series of physical and online attacks you're going to see online, especially on Twitter, which is turning into an increased dumpster fire month on month. The doxing of transgender people, and that will also spill over into the queer community in a broader sense, into the LGBTQ plus communities, and that's something to be very worried about. Obviously it's anti-progressive. They'll call it anti-woke because if they say progressive then they'll sound like fascists because they are fascists. But don't tell anybody, because there's this invisible enemy called the woke that aren't sort of invisible but they are progressive. Don't say progressive, whatever you do. There's a culture war. We've invented it, but there is a culture war to be fought, and we've got to pretend that we're winning, okay? Right. And it doesn't have anything to do with white supremacy. Honest, wink wink, nudge nudge. Don't tell anyone that we're racist and transphobic and we're homophobic or anything. Just, please don't. We're going to say it's the war on woke. You got it? Right. Where were we? That's actually in the Republican manifesto now. I'm not sure, but you know, joking. But this isn't a joking matter, of course. It says in the same executive order, Trump ended all government programs, policies, statements, and communications that promote or support gender ideology, and that includes the DEI, which is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion program. Right, TikTok. Yeah, I said we got on to this. Now he's postponed the banning of TikTok by 75 days. The implementation of a law that would ban Chinese-owned app TikTok in the United States. The platform had briefly been shut down the day before the inauguration to comply with the law, which means that a new American owner can be found. Now we know that everybody, like 100 million people, immediately moved over to the Chinese version of the app. And there have been some revelations with that as well. But he's asked what the action does after he's signed it, and he said it gives him the right to sell it or close it, and that's the pertinent point that I was getting to. So it's long story short, he just wants to make sure that his money's on the right side of the deal. He wants to make sure that his investment and his friends' investments are going to be on the right side of the deal when the hammer goes down, when the papers are signed and whatnot. And I dare say, people, there might also be some meetings at night in underground car parks between parties wearing trench coats and bearing briefcases that might be full of documents and or cash. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. I'm just checking out the chat now. Yeah, Becca, you're not too much of a fan of Trump's voice. Same. Listening to the speech yesterday, well, like I said, I think I described it as being like someone that's having to awkwardly explain that the pet had recently died after someone ran over it, reversing out of the driveway or something like that. The way, you know, his words were supposed to be inspiring the American people. We are going to end this. We are going to end it. We will see in America. It was just so, it's a drony, monotonous, raspy, as you describe it. Yeah, voice, not talking at all. Not like the dulcet tones of the Brews at 10 here on my left eye, of course. We'll see what happens. This is obviously a massive platform, and as we've said before on the channel, the amount of support from young people for Palestine that comes from the channel is obviously the meaning of this suppression of the app initially. They tried to pretend that they were fiddling the algorithm and make it look as though a lot of young people were supporting Palestine. After closer inspection, it turned out not to be true. They were actually all genuine supporters of Palestine, and this must be suppressed immediately. We can't have this as the United States of America, I say in a very English accent. I'm not going to put on a voice, but you know what they're thinking. They have to put that down immediately to help out their buddy Bibby. So what are we thinking about these executive orders, people? I don't mind saying myself from here in Manchester in the UK that I think that they're an absolute bag of shite. And speaking of which, we did of course make an amendment on yesterday's live stream, which has now been acknowledged by the mainstream media. I think I've got this bookmarked. I should have by rights. With regards to which country first split the atom, I'll go over to the Trump salute after we just check this out. 1 second, people. He claimed that the atom was first split in the United States of America whilst in the middle of what could only be described as a wankathon of self-gratuity. Well, he thought it was, but it appears that he's mistaken, because of all the places in the world, the atom, it appears, was first split in Manchester, in Britain, as it was then now the United Kingdom of Britain and Northern Ireland. Just looking for, sure I had that bookmarked. Sorry, I'm just going through my bookmarks, of which there are many. Oh, the impression. Were you quite impressed by the I think I've done better, Clive, with the impressions. They're eating the dogs! I can do a New Yorkie, sort of Boston-y accent. I can do a few American. I've got to get it nailed on though, the raspiness. I think I do Trump a bit better at the moment, I should say. Here we are. Got it. Got the thumbnail. 9/11, 4th of July, what fucking date is it? I don't know. Have I been fired yet? I don't know. I'd rather get some feedback from the Americans as well, on any spontaneous impressions that I do. Thanks for those kind words though. So, where was I? Yes, the splitting of the atom. And Trump has incorrectly claimed that it was United States of America. Let's try and find it. There we go. Compromising position there. Not in that sense. Ernest Rutherford and Hans Geiger were the first to split the atom here in Manchester. The 47th US president erroneously listed the feats amongst his country's achievements during his address in Washington, D.C. after he was sworn yesterday. He neglected to mention that they were the first country to drop an atomic bomb on another country as well. Strange that they'd try to claim the credit for that, but not take responsibility for those historic atrocities in Nagasaki and Hiroshima respectively. So, in fact, yes, the honour belongs to New Zealander Ernest Rutherford, who demonstrated that atoms could be split during experiments at Victoria University of Manchester in 1919, 106 years ago. Dr. James Sumner, a lecturer on the history of technology at the University of Manchester, suggested the president had confused the discovery with the later creation of the atomic bomb, because, of course, in the era of the Industrial War Complex, any major scientific development has to be considered as a weapon by the Americans at the first thoughts. Not how it could embetter, is that a word? Embiggen? Have I gone there? Is that a Simpsons-y invented word? I think it's a perfectly cromulent word. But to make society better is what I was trying to say. He was probably confused, yeah, Andy, you're right there, not for the first time. It wasn't Geiger that invented counting, Floor Snake, no, and if you get a high Geiger count, then you should just get out of there, really. Or however many Ronkin it is actually on the scale there with the radiation. If you hear the clicks, get the fuck out of there! Alright, moving on to the article. This is quality streaming, people. Big scientific discoveries tend to attract myths which supposes their creation to have occurred at one moment by one person, but the overarching research tends to need collaboration across national boundaries. That's true, and it even goes back beyond that, down to, Isaac Newton and stuff. There were parallel experiments and discoveries also going on. Oh yes, very tenuous link going back to Musk, going back to Tesla, going back to Nikola Tesla himself. A lot of his inventions were actually appropriated by others, including the same man who claimed to invent the telephone, even though that was invented by Meucci. But it's all about patents, it's all about getting the trademark on the thing, which brings us right back to capitalism. Just very quick though, Tesla as well, he wasn't a very money-minded man. He just wanted his inventions to make people's lives better, to better them, as I said earlier. Can we check on that, people, and just please, these people on the street, and betterment. I don't know how you fucking spell it, just... So, as I was saying, Rutherford first oversaw artificially induced nuclear reaction in human history, and the experiment involved bombarding a thin sheet of gold foil with alpha particles and earned Rutherford from Bridgewater in New Zealand the moniker the father of nuclear physics. Take that and stick it up your wig, Trump. That was probably more polite than it should have been. I don't know if he's listening. Could you imagine? I guess getting trolled by Musk would be the sort of ultimate accolade. It's more likely to come from Musk, isn't it, really? When you think about it. Schrodinger's cat, Michael. Welcome back as well, Michael. Joining us from Springfield once again, thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm really hoping to sort of boost the channel across the pond, as we say. Just getting into facts and figures. Obviously most of the viewers here on my left eye come from the UK, but it's about 15% of the viewers come from the United States as well, which I'm hoping to expand on. So that'd be great. Please do share the content around Michael with your fellow left-leaning friends. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Schrodinger's cat. Yes, well, you should have seen the look on people's faces during Schrodinger's funeral while he was in the casket. I saw a meme about that the other day, actually. Did I have a hot mic? Sorry about the hot mic moments. Bit of feedback. It's always great to hear your feedback, but not mine. Alright. Let's see what else is in the bag. I did realise we sort of came into a Trump and Musk batshit crazy corner thing without doing the theme music and whatnot. But it's all over the place at the moment, people. What can we do? I'm going to see if there's any developing stories around that or anything else. There's been a lot in the news today in the UK about what was the sort of spark for the awful far-right riots yesterday, the atrocious Southport killings of those poor girls in the dance studio, and the killer was actually flagged several times, but despite that still actually managed to carry that out. There's been a lot of news around that, but at the same time Keith has come out and obviously tried to convince people that he's taking action against this. I won't go through the full article or anything, just want to say a quick bit about this before I pull something else up. I think it is very, very far within the bounds of double standards where Keith's concerned. Mainly because to try and attract votes from the right, including the far right, he went fully along with this atrocious rhetoric and trope that is poisoning the UK at the moment from the far right. The anti-immigration stuff, trying to associate immigrants with grooming gangs and other crimes. And it's obviously completely statistically false and has been proven so many times, yet Starmer was happy to go along with that. What happened after the Southport attacks, which does appear to be based on an intelligence lapse, but what followed wasn't just started by the Tories, it wasn't just given fuel by the likes of Nigel Farage, Stephen Yaxley-Lennon aka Tommy Robinson and the likes of those grifters, as well as an abundance of others on social media, some of whom have now been convicted. But it was also drummed up by Keir Starmer by going along with those tropes. And I will not have him come out after the fact, after these poor girls were killed in that dance studio and after the awful race riots and so-called anti-immigration riots, but we all know they were far-right riots, racist riots, the Farage riots, as they should be rightly known as, happened. And I was there as well. Long-term viewers will know that I did a video around the time that happened. There was a confrontation here in Manchester. I didn't make it down to that. I went over to one the day after in Bolton and caught footage of that. Please do check that out if you're not familiar with it or a long-term viewer on the channel. But I was kind of right there in the thick of it, as it were, and I shouldn't have had to be there to stand up to those ignorant racist pricks if it wasn't for the likes of the Tories and Starmer. So I won't have this double standard flying around the place, and again Starmer stood at a lectern trying to make himself appear as though he's some sort of saint, as though he's some sort of moral pariah, when the very evils in our society here in the UK are things that he has been happy to fuel and lie about before for political point scoring, to try and get votes from, of all demographics, of all sections of society, from the far right, because he's that fucking shit scared of the likes of Farage and Richard Tice that he'll go there. Yeah, rant alert. Andy Carter, yeah. Embetterment. We're talking about embetterment of society. It's a perfectly cromulent word. What's that politics, Clive? A Cumberland hostages, however, not sausage. Not so good. Okay. Oh, farm foods, Cumberland sausage. What? What are we talking about? You can do a very good impression of a Cumberland sausage, can you, Floor Snake? Would we have to see a video of that, or can you do that in the chat? I'm not sure how. Quite intrigued. Please do indulge. Let us indulge. Embiggening, Clive. Yes, embiggening. And embettering of society. Both perfectly cromulent words. I'm sure you'll agree. Oh, what are we talking about? Skeletor?
What?
Anything? We've moved on to sausages. Hostages. Sausages! Already. Just quickly as I get towards the end of the stream tonight, people, let's take a look at this. I mentioned obviously the Capitol Rioters have been released, including the I know they said Old Boys then. What's that? That's the band in the Blues Brothers, who they pretend to be. Yeah, the Proud Boys. So the riot leaders, Tarayo and Rhodes, have been released from prison. Let's see what's happening very briefly. People, I will be redirecting very shortly, but please do stick around. Lots of quality streaming here on my left eye. I'm bound to deliver where that comes in. Bit of an in-joke there. God, 1,500, well, it's nearly 1,600 of them, actually. All these people back out on the streets. So Rhodes is a former US Army paratrooper and Yale-educated lawyer, was charged with leading a contingent of the Oath Keepers into Capitol in Washington back in 2021. He was sentenced in 2023 to 18 years. And now he's out within 2. Justice, that's what America stands for, people. Justice. You can see Superman stood there with the flag flying behind him behind his cape magnificently. The United States of Morals. This is bad. These guys are gonna go fucking, well, what I could only describe as batshit crazy, not wanting to plug one of my own features, but they're definitely gonna be coming up over the next few weeks, I'm sure. They were trying to hang the fucking vice president, for God's sake. That's what was going on. And I agree, Doc Davis, I'm pretty sure The Simpsons predicted this. They apparently predicted other things. Has anyone ever done Skeletree? It's just Peter Bone in a purple cowl. Oh, shudder at the thought, Clive. Shudder at the thought. I don't know what the odds are on one of these fuckheads getting back in the headlines very soon for some sort of atrocity. These are the creme de la creme, if you want to call it, of the MAGA heads. Make assholes great again. Or assholes. Make assholes great again. We want our country back, man. But I know that is not the overriding sentiment there in the US. They very arguably have an even worse electoral system than we do. I know there are a lot of strong and proud socialists out there in the United States of America. They simply don't have the democratic avenues to make it into power. The most well known of those recently, I guess you'd have to say, is Bernie Sanders, and of course with all of the superdelegates and whatnot in the voting process in the United States of America, caucus voting and so on and so forth, we find a great lack of democracy, which is very much sort of against what the United States of America is all supposed to be about. And when even the Democrats themselves, very clearly in the neoliberal camp, they're seen as the alternative to the conservative votes, then we find ourselves in very dire times, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Take a breath. Okay, people, I know it's been a little one-sided with all of the stuff about Trump and Musk tonight, but once again there's been so much to keep up with, just filling in on the live streams. More Trump and Musk's batshit crazy corners to come. We'll be featuring other news stories as well here on My Left Eye. Don't worry, it's not going to be this for the next 4 years. There's a lot more going on in the broader world. I'm just going to very quickly see if there's anyone to go over to raid into, but thanks for joining me tonight. I'll be back tomorrow, of course. It's PMQs, Prime Minister's Questions here in the UK. Michael, it'd be great if you could make it along to that one. I don't know if you follow parliamentary affairs here in the UK or how My Left Eye likes to keep up with things. I hope it'd be within your field of entertainment. As drab and old-fashioned as it might be, we do try and keep ourselves amused with a couple of games. Where are we? Yep, My Left Eye will be back tomorrow, of course, for that, so please do join me. And we have located a live streamer. We've got the fantastic Helena at No Justice MTG. If you're not familiar with the channel, please do check them out. Before I do say goodbye, another obligatory thank you, of course. We'll get the screen in order first. Before I say another thanks to all the members on the channel, and of course I will add all of the gifted memberships from tonight. Octo, I won't forget to chase up your gifted membership just to make sure that went through. If not, then please do check your balance and check if that's been refunded. Let's stay in touch, people. It's been great to see you. Stick around, I've got another meme as well at the end, of course. No parting comedy clip this evening, unfortunately, but I do have another meme which I hope you'll find relevant and humorous. Quality streaming here on My Left Eye. Speaking of quality, these are all quality people who you can see on your screen right now. The members and supporters of My Left Eye. You can join this list for just 99 pence. Please do consider supporting the channel. If you're watching back on a replay, super thanks are available as well. Great to see the community growing as well. It's definitely my favourite way of supporting the channel is with gift memberships. Thanks again to all of you who've gifted memberships to other viewers recently. So I won't dilly-dally on the parting of ways this evening, people. It's been great as always to have you here on My Left Eye. I'll be coming over to you on the raid into No Justice in just a moment. But for anybody else, until next time, hopefully tomorrow, whatever you're doing, take care. My Left Eye, I'll be seeing you soon. Good night.